Just a reminder before today's programme, you can check out the latest episode of AMTV Radio, featuring our wonderful guest, WhoChaser. And now, here on AMTV, it's that time of the week again. Your questions answered in the Sunday Catch-Up. The following programme is rated PG. AMTV recommends parental guidance. You can buy stickers now. For as little as £1 payment and £1 postage, so for £2 total you can get yourself this exclusive AMTV sticker. There's only been 100 of these printed. It was what some of you guys requested, so please do help support the show by grabbing an AMTV sticker. A link to the merch store will be in the description. And yeah, grab this, you can stick it on your laptop, your wall. I've stuck it on my wall over there. You might not be able to see it, but I promise it is there. Grab yourself while you can an AMTV sticker. Hi there guys, it's Adam Martyn here, and welcome back to another instalment of the Sunday Catch-Up. We're on episode 79, would you believe it? One off the big 80, and as always I will be answering your questions today, but first I wanted to talk a few things about the channel. First of all, I just really want to plug the new podcast, AMTV Radio. The second episode actually went out recently featuring my special guest WhoChaser. It was a pleasure to have him on. It's a great chat, so please do go and check that out. Share it around with your friends who are into Doctor Who and pop culture and stuff. We're going to be having episodes every week. At this point, I've filmed/recorded about 8 of them, and they'll all be going to Spotify and YouTube at the same time, which is good. The second thing I wanted to address was the shift in content, if you like. I'm sure a lot of you have noticed recently there has been a lot more content focused on Doctor Who than, say, TV history, idents, that sort of thing. The thing is, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm actually a really huge Doctor Who fan. I always have been for about 15 years now, and I feel with me on the channel there's peaks and troughs with what I'm interested in and want to talk about. And if I've learned anything these past few months, especially with some of my guests on the podcast who reiterated this, I have, phases. There'll be phases where I really want to talk about idents and TV history stuff. That was more like the start of the whole lockdown. Whereas now I really want to talk about Doctor Who because it's a big part of my life, and I haven't done that a lot. So that is why there's the shift in content. Those who are worried they're never going to see any like TV history stuff again, don't worry, that will be coming back eventually. But things are going in a more Whovian direction because that's just what I want to talk about. And if that doesn't interest you, if you're not a Doctor Who fan, then I'm sorry. I hope you decide to stay subscribed because, as I say, there will be TV content coming. But maybe check some of it out, see if it takes your fancy. But yeah, I just wanted to address that up for people who are like, he's becoming a WhoTuber. I make whatever I want to make, man. That's it. And I also have, Dave the Dalek here on my desk. So Dave says, go and watch some Doctor Who content, okay? So without further ado, let's get answering your questions. Now, with the new rules on the Sunday Catch-Up, it's Patreon questions first, and they get to ask up to 5 questions, and then I will answer the first 30 comments that contain questions in them. So on Patreon, we have the Gerkuman asking again, thank you dude, with what is your favourite fruit? Probably grapes of some kind, like green grapes, most likely. Following on from that, strawberries or raspberries? Ooh, gonna have to say strawberries. I'm not a huge fan of either. 3, if you had the power to have a crossover with any Doctor, even those who have passed on, who would it be and why? I mean, I'd love to say Peter Capaldi, as he's my absolute favourite Doctor, but doing a crossover with William Hartnell I think would be really interesting. Question 4. I've been listening to Thomas Dolby recently in an attempt to browse my musical horizons. Do you have a favourite song by them or him? Yeah, Thomas Dolby. I have his first 2 albums on vinyl, so The Golden Age of Wireless and The Flat Earth. There's actually a song from his early 90s album, I think it's 1992, called Silk Pajamas, which is really strange, but I don't know, I kind of like it, not gonna lie. Would the world be a worse place without the Now series? Absolutely. I think having a solid compilation that comes out 3 times a year with all the latest chart hits, it's been influential in many ways, and it's given a lot of people joy, me included, so I think it'd be a much worse place without the Now series. Those are the questions from the Patreon side. Thank you, Gerkuman, for asking them. Remember, fellow patrons, if you're watching, you are welcome to leave them if you like. But let's go on to the YouTube side of things now and take a look at the first 30 comments with questions. Kicking off, we have DJF Vlogs, who says, favourite TV series other than Doctor Who? If you're talking about a drama, I used to watch Casualty for a very long time. But I don't actually, probably Merlin. Merlin would be a close second. That one's just a lot of fun. Question 2 on that one is favourite new version of an old song. Actually, Christina Aguilera has done a 2020 version of her song Reflection that she did for Mulan back in '98. That's a really good version of Reflection, so I highly recommend that for you. And favourite actor or actress? Well, a lot of the Doctor Who actors are my favourite, but for actors I've got a lot of appreciation for Arnold Schwarzenegger because I feel he gets lumped in for being a bad actor. If you check out some of his films, especially those like later on in his career, like more recent, they're actually really good and he delivers a solid performance, so don't knock him as far as I'm considered. Comment 2 from VHS Artifacts says Top of the Pops or the Old Grey Whistle Test. It's got to be Top of the Pops. Red Bull or Monster? I'm not really a fan of either, but I'd have to say Monster. And if you were to visit America, what state would you love to visit the most? Well, what state? I do love going to Florida, mainly for Disneyland. New York was fantastic, but I'd really love to actually see what Texas is like, if I'm honest. Comment 3, if you could remake a 90s BBC Two ident, which one would you remake and how? Which one? Probably one of the more mysterious ones, like Crystal Ball, but I'd update it so that the 2 was more visible and that the ident was more, obviously, high definition. Just a bit more interesting, that's how I'd do it. Comment 4 from Doctor Who fan, favourite Doctor Who magazine comic story? The one where I think it's Matt Smith's Doctor goes and meets Ian and Barbara. I can't remember what that one's called, but I really love that story. Favourite story from Colin Baker's time as the Doctor? When I was younger, I would have probably said like Attack of the Cybermen, but now, either Revelation of the Daleks or Vengeance on Varos for me. And favourite Doctor Who logo? I've got a lot of love for the McCoy era one. I know a lot of people hate on it. I mean, I use the McCoy one for Doctor Who news. It's my favourite like version of the theme, but aside from that, the diamond logo, always a solid winner. Comment 5 from CamTGP Inc. Have you seen any French idents from the likes of TF1, M6, W9 or Canal Plus? I haven't, no. I haven't really watched any French TV. Comment 6 from Roger Darthwell. Next week, Tony Hall will retire as Director General of the BBC. What do you think of the news? Well, we knew that for a while. Didn't he stay on a bit longer because of the whole, situation going on in the world? I mean, he seemed to be a good Director General. I can't remember who they've announced is coming in. As long as it's no one from Rupert Murdoch's family, that'll keep me happy. And also next week, Sky Arts is going to become a free-to-air TV channel after it launched 20 years ago. What do you think of that? Are you going to watch a bit of free-to-air Sky Arts? I actually will. I really like the concept of Sky Arts as a channel. And I never really watched much of their programming before because, again, I didn't have Sky. But if it's becoming free, I might check some of it out. Comment 7 from Kyle Wright is, have you ever been on a ghost train? If so, what do you think? Yeah, when I was younger at, like, carnivals and stuff, and they're fine. They're nice and cheesy and tacky. Thoughts on Mr. Burns and Smithers? Great duo, one of the greatest duos in animation history. Mr. Burns is hilarious. Smithers is also hilarious. And have you seen the South Park episode with Barbara Streisand in? It depends what season. I know comfortably I've seen the first 12 seasons of South Park, and that one's not ringing in any bells. I do own all the South Park seasons, but there's still a good half the show I haven't watched yet. Comment 8 from Princewell IDK says, why don't you like Sky One? Never said I didn't like it, did I? Did I say I didn't like it? And do you have Freeview or Sky? Just Freeview. And Tesco or Argos? Oh, that's tough. Probably going to have to be Tesco. Comment 9 from Clarence Brown is your brief history of the 5 main channels who made AMTV Productions? As in the logo at the beginning, that is Juan the MC 154. And why are there no Christmas idents for the Ident Review Extra? Well, I'm saving them for Christmas, pretty much. And Regis Philbin died last month. Did you know that? Yes, I did want to make a tribute video at the time. Never got round to it. I still might make a tribute for him. We'll just have to wait and see. Comment 10 by Anonymous. How would a woodchuck chuck wood? I think you've said that wrong, but the answer is, I don't know. Comment 11 by FP YouTube is, what was your favourite CBBC programme? Oh, I had loads. Like Arthur. Raven, actually. Raven, like the adventure game show. That was pretty cool. I did love Raven. And do you like BBC Wreath? As in the font, it's nice, but I must admit I prefer the one just before Wreath, like the more blocky style, if you like. I can't remember what font it is, but yeah, Wreath's okay. Comment 12 from Squall Rowlandson is, would you be happy if The Animals of Farthingwood got rebooted on CBBC in 2025 or beyond that year? Well, why 2025? Why do we have to wait that long, quite frankly? But I mean, it would be an interesting concept, but I think the original series works better in its own bubble. It's one of those series that doesn't really need to be remade, even if it is 30, 40 years on, whatever. What would you think of Raven, as in CBBC's Raven, of fighting the Horned King from the Black Cauldron in a Raven and Black Cauldron crossover? Do you know what? Like, that crossover idea actually works because it's similar themes. It would be very jarring considering one's animated and one's real, but I would like to see that. What would you think if Nunu from the Teletubbies caused chaos for the tweenies? There would just be chaos. I think my television would explode, I think. Comment 13 from NFL Fan 65 is, can you make more Ident reviews? I know a lot of you guys want the Ident review back, but as I sort of said at the beginning, that's not where like my drive and passion is now. If you think about it, and I hope you guys do appreciate this, I made Ident content for a very long time, and especially at the start of lockdown, I was running 2 Ident series for months, and I just sort of got a bit like lackluster with it. It got a little bit boring, to be honest, and I will make more Ident review episodes eventually, but I just hope you understand it just won't be right now, quite frankly. Comment 14 from Jennifer Jones says 32% of 22. Well, 10% of 22 is 2.2. Times that by 3 is 6.6. And then 1% of 22 is 0.22. And double that is 0.44. So judging from that, 6.6 plus 0.44 is 7.04. 7.04 I think is 32% of 22. And 22 times 2, well that's 44, isn't it? And are you a fan of the Big Brother series? No, not really. I can't stand Big Brother. Comment 15 from Junior Animate is, will you do an Ident review and Now review crossover where you review the Now channel Idents? Hey, that might be the one to bring back the series. That's a good idea, man. And Thunderball or Skyfall? Skyfall any day. And favourite part of Die Another Day? Purely because it's so stupid. Either the invisible vanquish car or the fact that Pierce Brosnan rides a tsunami or paraglides on a tsunami. So ridiculous. Comment 16 from Ribbleye says, have you ever been to a chiropodist? Is it chiropodist, like the chiropractor? No, I haven't. And do you like coffee cake? Yeah, gorgeous stuff, coffee cake. Comment 17, Top of the Pops or the Tube? Top of the Pops, any day. Have you seen the League of Super Evil? No. What was that about? And what is the trickiest question you have been asked, either here or on the midweek catch-up? The trickiest question? I think it's just whenever anyone tries to ask me something political, just because I don't mind talking politics here and there, but it's hard because then it just opens a whole can of worms, doesn't it? Comment 18 from the Carl John 1 says, what got you into collecting vinyls? Well, my parents had vinyl, and I was always curious about it, like this old music technology where music plays off this black disc, and they got their vinyls out, and I was getting into Michael Jackson, and I realised you could get vinyls of that, so it all just sort of spurred on from there, really, but yeah. That's why. And have you heard that Now are releasing 100 Hits Dance? Yes, I have. 14th of September, I believe. I will be picking it up. And did you know that there are 2 museums in Christchurch called the Red House Museum and the Electricity Museum? I did not know that because I have not been to Christchurch. Comment 19 from V Swede says, are any other platforms planned for the podcast? Well, by the time this is out, AMTV Radio can be heard on Spotify, so please go and check out our Spotify there, just search AMTV Radio, you should see the logo. But yeah, just YouTube and Spotify for now. I am looking at getting it on others though, maybe like Podbean or iTunes, etc. And what is your process for recording? It really depends on the video. Like with this one, I just set up my ring light for the lighting, put my camera there and film. But for others, if it's just voiceover, it's just me recording on my laptop. It really depends on the video. Comment 20 from Richard Smaley's 3. What are your thoughts on Has Been Hotel? Don't know what that is, mate. Really sorry. You'd have to explain a bit more for me. Comment 21 from Jamie Melling says, have you heard someone wins the jackpot in the new series of Millionaire that'll be shown next month? Yeah, I made a video on it this week, of course, and if you haven't seen it, go and check it out. That just talks about whether spoilers are good for the show or not. I'm not convinced myself. And are you pleased that Millionaire was be filmed during lockdown, albeit without a studio audience? Yeah, it's nice that we're getting new episodes of Millionaire despite adjustments. Like, yes, it'll be sad that Ask the Audience isn't there, but we've, what was the alternative? Comment 22 from Craft CX2. Favourite landmark? I don't really have a favourite landmark. I should probably pick one. I mean, the Angel of the North's quite iconic and it makes me feel very northern. And how did you get into Doctor Who and Identity? As in Idents? Well, Doctor Who I got into in 2005 when my dad recommended I should watch this brand new drama called Doctor Who that was coming on, and I've been a fan ever since. And Idents, I've always just had a weird fascination, even as a kid, just like, I found them really curious to look at. And favourite show on AMTV, you're asking me to pick my own fave show. I'm really enjoying the Doctor Who stuff I'm doing. The Doctor Who ratings video, which again, please go and check out if you haven't already. That's going to be a big passion project that I'm really want to commit to. Comment 23 from Max Jackson, which is, have you seen The Return of the King 1980 Rankin Bass animated film? I haven't, but I own it on VHS, so I need to get round to it. What would you think of the idea of a Doctor Who and DuckTales crossover if they collaborated? That would be cool. I'm trying to picture how they do it, but yeah, if Doctor Who collaborated with Disney, why not? And what did you think of the best narrator of Thomas the Tank Engine, Ringo Starr or Michael Angelis? Probably Michael Angelis. I think Ringo Starr just gets remembered because, you know, he's Ringo Starr, but in terms of performance, Michael Angelis gave a better performance, shall we say. Comment 24 from GamerJake15. Will there be a Doctor Who night for the Ident Review Extra? Well, we have the Dalek Ident, so that technically counts, I suppose. And will there be a brief history of Doctor Who? I've thought about this before. Trying to do a brief history of Doctor Who would be very difficult, and the copyright issues would be insane. And when was your first Doctor Who episodes? In the first one I watched, it was Rose on the 26th of March 2005, and here we are 15 years later, still a big fan. Comment 25 from Dr. Floyd03 Productions, which is, what's your thoughts on the Doctor Who story The Ice Warriors? It's good, but I think it could be 4 episodes and not 6. It's a little long in the middle. And have you seen The Evil Dead or The Last House on the Left? I have seen Evil Dead, very good. It's funny, I actually picked up The Last House on the Left recently in a Blu-ray Steelbook, so I will be watching that. And have you seen Munich? If you haven't, it's a great film based on a true story. That is the Steven Spielberg film, is it not? I do need to see Munich. Comment 26 from Jonathan Monk. When will you upload the Ident review again? Well, I answered it earlier, but when I feel I've got to drive for it, when I want to, quite frankly. I say I'm just a bit burnt out on Ident content at the minute, and I'm thinking when the Ident review extra finishes, because I will finish that marathon, might take a little break from that as well. Comment 27 from Chat, which is, will you do the Channel 4 2006 to 2012 Idents for the Ident review extra when you finish the BBC Two marathon? Well, they're definitely contenders, don't get me wrong, but as I just mentioned, I might take a short break from the Ident review extra just to sort of recharge the batteries, because I don't want to just burn out on Ident stuff, you know. Comment 28 from KGS says, did you know the Rugrats' parents got grounded for watching a South Park movie? I don't know what you're talking about, I'm afraid, pal. And scared of anything in Numberjacks? Never seen Numberjacks. And what videos on YouTube do you think are inappropriate? I mean, there's a lot of inappropriate content here. It depends if you mean swearing or lewd content. It could be a lot of things, quite frankly. Comment 29 from Stephen Bruce, favourite pantomime? Favourite pantomime? Well, I watched one when I worked as an usher in my local theatre back home, where it was Aladdin, and I thought that was really well done, so that was probably my favourite. Are you asking me what I would have as Christmas number one? Just something good. It doesn't have to be Christmassy, but just a good song. Do you remember cartoons, Shoe People, Raggy Dolls, and... I know what Raggy Dolls is. My friend Sophie, if she's watching, or big up Sophie, she'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I remember Raggy Dolls, certainly. And comment 30 is Captain Killerfish with, what's your favourite ident? Single ident. It's either BBC Two Paint or the BBC One Computer Originated World or Virtual Globe. And Classic Who or New Who. That's a really tough one. I'm going to put this down. Classic Who, I think it depends. Like, New Who is what I grew up on fundamentally, but I also grew up watching Classic Who alongside it with the DVD releases. I think it depends what you're after. If you're into modern tropes in TV, then the new series, absolutely. But if you're open to how TV was made 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, then the classic series. But they're both equally as valid. They're both equally as entertaining as well. And you don't need to watch the classic series to enjoy New Who and vice versa. It's really just there if you want it. So both are as good as each other. And those are all the questions I'll be answering for this week's Sunday Catch-Up. Thank you very much for asking them. So if you've got more questions, leave them in the comments below. Remember, here on YouTube, the first 30 of you who leave comments with questions within them will have them answered here on the Sunday Catch-Up. If you're a patron, then you can ask up to 5 questions. They'll definitely be answered. You can become a patron for as little as £1 a month. Yes, £1 a month, and you get tons of rewards in it as well. I'm thinking of adding even more rewards as well. Please do keep supporting the channel as you are. Summer's a really hard time for all YouTubers because, you know, views are down. And also with everything going on, trying to stay afloat myself, looking for regular jobs, sadly, because of what's going on in the world. But your support has been fantastic. So please watch some of the new stuff, the Doctor Who based stuff. Please do check out and share the Doctor Who ratings video. I put a lot of time and effort into that. And yeah, I just want people to see it. So yeah, please do support that. But thank you very much for watching. Leave a like on this video, leave your questions down below to be answered next week, and until the next one, I will see you guys next time. This program has been brought to you in part by our producer and director patrons. With your support, you help keep AMTV running and the programs coming to your screens. Thank you. And that does bring us to the end of another evening here on AMTV. We hope you enjoyed the programme, and we hope to see you next time. Good night.